We are here in this townhome community. The crime scene has been expanded. They have pushed us back and they have put up this crime scene tape. Authorities have just arrived. I want you to take a close look. This caution tape and these barricades making sure that people don't get near this. It looks like most of the flames are out, but there's still a large number of firefighters on scene right now. It's extremely hot. There's a lot of water, a lot of Gatorade to help the firefighters who are right now battling this blaze. I did a little shopping, this plastic bag proof of my purchase, but next week, Bexley City Council could vote to ban the plastic in the city. People feeling good, dancing, and so check this lady out. She has some of the best moves. Check this lady out. She got some of the best moves. I confronted Trustee Chair Melanie Lanahan for answers. Do you have anything to say to these people?
So, Bryant, what does the scene look like now?
Well, Bob, things have calmed down a little bit, but it's still pretty active out here. As you mentioned, this fire happening around 7:45 tonight. Went to 3 alarms, but take a look behind me. You can see that there are still flames inside of this factory. It's called Miltech. We've learned that it's a cabinet-making company. Now, the owner says they employ 27 people. The video we shot earlier shows just how large the flames grew. It got so intense the roof collapsed as well as part of the wall. I spoke with a bus driver for Bexley Public Schools. She says some of the buses they have were parked next to the factory. She says she raced into action once the fire started.
I just started smelling smoke very strong, so I started to dial 911, and then I heard the sirens coming. I just started grabbing keys to move the buses as far away from that building as possible.
That woman says she was able to save all but one of the buses. A spokesperson with the Columbus Fire Department says a nearby railroad track was shut down for safety. Here, once again, another live look at this factory as the flames continue in this now destroyed building. We're at the intersection of Harvard Avenue and Woodland Avenue. This area has been blocked off for several hours, and it appears that it will stay that way as firefighters continue to work on getting this fire put out. If there's any good news out of this tonight, Columbus Fire tells us there are no reported injuries. We're live on the east side. I'm Bryant Maddrick, ABC 6 News. Every day we drive, we never expect something like this to happen. I want you to take a look at I-71 North right now, normal. Different story a few hours ago, and the man I talked to tells me his emotions were all over the place. First it was shock, then it was anger. He thinks this never should have happened, and he hopes it never happens again. A normal drive on I-71 North takes a scary turn Thursday afternoon for Stephen Shelley.
I saw a shadow basically on the right hand side of my car, and all of a sudden it was like a loud boom. Then the windshield went, and it was like, okay, what did I just hit?
Turns out it wasn't what he hit, it was what hit him. The answer? Concrete from an overpass.
The last thing I expected was to have a piece of concrete fall from underneath the overpass.
I emailed an ODOT spokesperson who told me concrete from the East Powell Road Bridge over I-71 likely fell because of its age. The bridge was originally built in 1959.
I want folks to be aware that our infrastructure needs to be fixed and more rapidly than it's getting done.
ODOT says bridge inspectors removed any additional loose concrete and determined there's no structural damage to the bridge. Just cosmetic. Same could be said for Shelley's car. He was able to drive it home, but a smashed windshield and large dent means this Uber driver won't be making money anytime soon.
I'm out of business for who knows how long.
Shelley wasn't injured in the freak accident that he says could have been worse.
It could have been a real tragedy.
Thank goodness it was not. Now let's talk about fixing the damage. Now, Shelley has insurance, but he tells me he wants the state to step up and help with the cost. ODOT says that people like Shelley, they can file a claim for damages against ODOT with the Ohio Court of Claims. We're live in Mobile Track on I-71 North. I'm Bryant Maddrick, ABC 6 News. Take a look at the police substation off Sullivan Avenue. It would not be outrageous to take a look at that building and think it's a mini prison. There's fencing all around it, and there's barbed wire on the top of that fencing. And for the woman I talked to, she tells me that's the problem. It's not inviting, it's not open to the public, and she thinks it's an opportunity to replace it with something better. In the Hilltop, this neighborhood's problems are well known.
The opiate crisis spawns the prostitution, the theft, there's drug dealers.
In the middle of the chaos, the police officers who work in this building keep the order. This is Substation 19 off of Sullivan Avenue. Not exactly the most open or inviting building around.
I tried to drop off some cookies, and it was closed. The door was closed, and I had to knock, and I just seemed like just so closed to the public. And I thought, it would be nice if we could just walk in.
This sign is a reminder that can't happen, but Hilltop resident Lisa Boggs wants to change that.
I'm thinking that it would be open to everyone and be like a community hub. That's what I envision.
Boggs wrote this letter to city officials proposing a new police substation that would include a community center and space for city departments to serve residents.
This would bring folks that don't normally interact with the police, maybe might bring them in.
The request comes as the city is asking voters to approve a bond package of $1.03 billion for capital improvements.
A bond package does cover is police stations, fire stations, sidewalks, infrastructure.
Boggs feels good that voters will say yes to the city's request and the city will say yes to hers.
I have a little bit of hope, I really do.
Now, Boggs tells me that after she sent out those letters, she already has meetings set up with city leaders, so we'll be sure to follow up and let you know what comes of that. Meanwhile, I reached out to the city and someone from the mayor's office tonight. They tell me that for the Hilltop, there's a master plan for that neighborhood going forward, and there are discussions when it comes to a police substation. We'll continue to follow this story and the weeks and months ahead, but for now, we're live downtown. I'm Bryant Maddrick, Fox 28 News. Baseball is called America's pastime. But before the game, the people who make this country great were remembered and honored. Mike Perella served in World War II.
We were part of the greatest generation. 16 million of us put on a uniform and destroyed Nazism and Japanese imperialism.
Throwing out the first pitch at tonight's Clippers game, the 95-year-old represents those who are no longer here.
I'm the only one left.
On the 75th anniversary of D-Day, honors were held on the ground and in the air. These warbirds taking part in this ceremonial flyover. Before the event, we caught up with the pilots.
We're honoring the 160,000 souls that gave their lives for our freedom and liberty today, and the 126 warships that went down today.
Timothy Wildman Wild is the lead pilot.
Being part of formation flights and honoring our fallen soldiers, this is what it's all about, giving back.
Pilot Jim Wilson of Columbus knows what it means to give back. He's a retired Air Force fighter pilot and veteran of Vietnam and Desert Storm. I asked him what he hopes the people in these seats think about as they fly above.
I just want them to have pride in their country, pride in all their military and all the fine folks that make up, the military and everything that they try to do.
A proper tribute on the ground and in the sky for the greatest generation. Outside Huntington Park, I'm Bryant Maddrick, ABC 6 News.